Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey, Dave, this is Mike from West Virginia. I wanted to talk about Will Howard. Will Howard's 6'4", 235 pounds. He's really mobile for his size. He's strong. All his teammates like him. He's got an adequate arm that can make all the throws. When you watch him through this college football playoff run, he was throwing in some tight windows, and the thing I liked about him is when his reads wasn't there and he had to improvise, he kept his eyes down the field, and when it looked like there was a threat to run, he's still going through his progressions and finding guys that are wide open. So interested to see what your guys' take is on that. Love the show. Take care, Dave, and God bless.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. Spencer, we had to cut that down for time's sake. He mentioned Ben Roethlisberger in that as well, and it's kind of interesting. I hadn't thought of it in terms of that. If he's there, third round, I'd be intrigued. I don't know that I would, because they're drafting so high. I don't know that I'd take him second round. Will Howard in the third round? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's funny he says that because I think Ben Roethlisberger when he came into the league was like 6'5", 240. So like Will Howard is like 5 pounds less than that. So the comp there is interesting. The comp there is very intriguing in that way. And I'm somebody who, in following Ohio State's run to the national championship and following Ohio State this whole season, I have enjoyed watching sort of the development of Will Howard in that playoff run. He was brilliant. The biggest question I have is how much of that was the talent around him, who he was playing with, and how much of that was him. Now, I think some of his decision-making got better. He showed a lot of poise. Well, I mean, one thing I do not deny with him that I do think will translate to the NFL and is a quality that you want in your quarterback is like he does have sort of that short-term memory, that ability to bounce back and not like repeat the same mistakes. Like he doesn't let those things sort of perpetuate. Like he makes a bad play, he makes an interception, he comes back out, he'll lead you on a touchdown drive. So his poise, his moxie, there's some of that there. And that's the one quality that I feel really strong in saying is something that will translate and makes him somebody that teams will consider and should consider drafting. It's the throwing the football and reading defenses stuff that I still have some questions about. Because again, it's one thing to be throwing to guys when you have Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Ibuka and some of these other great receivers. It's another when you're, trying to push the ball downfield, tighter coverages, read a defense at the NFL level when things are a little bit faster as well. He threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage a lot in college too. So there's still some questions I have, and maybe some of those things can get answered throughout the pre-draft process. I am curious to see rather how his stock continues to rise from the playoff to the combine to his pro day to the draft. I did hear somebody report earlier today that they think, or they've been hearing that like somebody like Jalen Milroe could be a later first round pick. So if that's the case, like I almost wonder where that means Will Howard ends up when this is all said and done. Like we're sitting here saying like, yeah, third round, Browns have 2 picks. Why not use one of them on a guy like Will Howard if you don't take a quarterback at 2? But I'm kind of curious to see if after this conversation with around Will Howard continues, if his stock gets high enough that he maybe is a second round pick, and that's going to be where you had to select him if you want him as a player.